I'm Gul Panag, and it is my absolute honor to welcome you to a truly special event, the unveiling of the new brand identity for the Indian Spinal Injuries Center, a place of unparalleled hope and healing. We're not just revealing a logo tonight, we are celebrating a legacy of grit, determination, and human resilience. Please take a moment to look around you. You are surrounded by friends, partners, doctors, staff, and champions of this remarkable institution. Thank you for being here to witness the unfolding of ISIC's next chapter. Every great institution has a foundation built on an extraordinary story. ISIC is a living tribute to the extraordinary spirit of one man, Major HPS Ahluwalia. His personal journey from a debilitating injury to becoming a pioneer in spinal cord rehabilitation is the very essence of what ISIC stands for. Ladies and gentlemen, watch this inspiring tribute, Heal the World, a movie on Major HPS Ahluwalia.
Major Ahluwalia was 26 years old when he climbed the summit of Mount Everest. Four months later, he was shot in the spine during the Indo-Pak War, on the very mountains he loved so much. Though he nearly lost his life, he never lost his fighting spirit. This is a story of the triumph of the human spirit. The story of how one man transcended a personal tragedy and turned it into an extraordinary mission to transform the lives of thousands of people. The story of how a man in a wheelchair with no administrative experience created a world-class healthcare institute that has revolutionized the management of spinal injuries in India, become an apex referral center for patients from across the world, and a global hub of knowledge sharing and research. The story of how a single man with no financial backing was able to win the support of 3 governments to turn his vision into reality. The story of how a man with no medical background was able to inspire medical specialists of the highest intellectual caliber and build them into the finest multidisciplinary team that is revolutionizing diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of patients. The Indian Spinal Injuries Center performed its first surgery in 1997. Today it has become the nucleus of the spinal cord movement in India, a global hub of knowledge and the catalyst for a quantum leap in education, medical care and research in the field. It is at the cutting edge of surgical technology, with the highest surgical skills available anywhere in the world, where surgeons work with colleagues from around the globe to develop enhanced surgical techniques and perform the world's most advanced surgeries. it has established one of the most comprehensive rehabilitation centers, with facilities comparable to the best in the world. It has set a new standard in specialist postgraduate education and created India's first institute to offer master's degree in prosthetics and orthotics, and one of only two to offer a fellowship in spine surgery. It has become a landmark on the map of international scientific research centers and built a network of research collaborations with some of the world's leading institutions. It has taken the lead in organizing international seminars and conferences to provide a forum for the exchange of knowledge and research, and has built a globally affiliated medical fraternity where some of the world's best minds in the field gather to share new insights into medical dilemmas and learn from each other's experiences. Spread across 15 acres of land, the Indian Spinal Injury Center provides each and every service a patient would need under one roof. Today, it is an apex referral center with patients from all over the world. Yet, it is totally committed to serve the needs of every section of society. A 150-bed hospital, it has reserved 30 beds for the poorest of poor patients who receive every treatment for as long as they need it, free of cost. Set in the midst of beautifully landscaped gardens, the Indian Spinal Injury Center is the fulfillment of a long-cherished dream. Designed with care and empathy by a patient who understands the special yet simple needs of other patients, it is truly a place of healing through hope and joy. A place where recreation and fun are as much a part of daily life as physiotherapy and exercise. Where corridors are filled with light and sounds of cheer. A place that is totally barrier-free and wheelchair-friendly. Where patients can wander through fruit orchards, and every room looks out onto gardens. Where the mind, body and spirit heal in harmony with nature. And where patients feel they are truly valued members of society. Today, as we look ahead to a better future for our patients, we rededicate ourselves to our mission to work together with our global medical fraternity for the sake of all humanity. The winds of change are blowing through the corridors of our institute. They carry echoes of a quiet revolution that is spreading across the land. The vibrations of a place that is the highest point on our earth and the closest to heaven. A place that continues to inspire us to reach ever higher and give our best to the world.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place is much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place.
This film truly captures the heart and soul of ISIC. And guiding that heart with grace and unwavering commitment is the woman who has carried this torch forward. She is the ultimate symbol of strength and compassion. And under her leadership, ISIC has grown into a world-class institution. Mrs. Bholi Ahluwalia, Chairperson, ISIC. The organization and board of directors unanimously turned towards Mrs. Ahluwalia to succeed her late husband and former chairman and founding member, Major HPS Ahluwalia, after his sudden demise in 2022. A board of director since 1999, Mrs. Ahluwalia has worked equally hard alongside her husband in laying and shaping the foundation and values of the Indian Spinal Injuries Center ever since its inception. In fact, it was her idea during one of their visits to Stoke Mandeville Hospital for his rehabilitation that she seeded the idea of ISIC in Major Ahluwalia. In his mind, which later became an obsession for him, leading to his vast contribution in the field of disability. Ever since taking up chairpersonship, Mrs. Bholi Ahluwalia has led ISIC through major infrastructural changes, comprehensive service upgrades, and higher patient satisfaction. She is responsible for shaping the next chapter of ISIC 2.0, whilst ensuring the dream and legacy of her husband continues to function on the same foundational values and objectives it was first conceived upon. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome on stage Chairperson of ISIC, Mrs. Bholi Ahluwalia, to share her reflections on the legacy so far.
Namaskar, and a very good evening to all of you. Shri Rambir Singh Bhaduri ji, Honorable Member Parliament, South Delhi, members of the board, distinguished doctors, colleagues, ISIC family, and friends of ISIC. There are moments in life when one does not go forward by choice, but because life asks one to. When you do not seek a role, it seeks you. For me, that moment came when the responsibility of this institution came to rest on my shoulders. I was part of the Indian Spinal Injury Center from the time it was a little more than an idea, a thought shared on a dining table, a sketch on a notepad, a hope that something good could come out of pain. I remember those early days vividly, meetings that stretched into long evenings, conversations that began with possibilities and ended with purpose. Long visits to a patch of land in Vasant, Kunj that we hoped one day would stand for courage itself. I saw this dream grow from paper to purpose, from conversation to commitment. I saw Major Ahluwalia pour his spirit into creating a place where healing would mean far more than recovery. It would mean dignity, independence, and a chance to begin again. My role in those early days was quiet, but close. to stand beside the people who built this place, to ensure that every patient felt seen, every employee valued, and to ensure that the warmth of humanity was never lost in the noise of work. That is how ISIC was born, not out of ambition, but from empathy, not from resources, but from resolve. When Ejum Ahluwalia passed away in 2022, it felt as though time had stopped for a while. I had lost my companion of a lifetime. The institution he had nurtured was suddenly without his founder, his compass. There was no plan of succession, but there was a responsibility that could not be left untended. In that moment, the board asked me to lead, not as a figurehead, but as a custodian of his vision. I accepted, not out of preparedness, but from faith, not out of ambition, but out of duty. Taking on that responsibility was not an act of courage. It was an act of continuity. It was my way of keeping alive the belief that gave this place its soul. Leadership, I have learned, is not about readiness. It is about resolve. It is the quiet decision to keep walking when everything inside tells you to take a break. I had seen this journey from its first step. I knew what ISIC stood for and what it must never compromise on. Over the years, ISIC has grown as all living things must. We began as a center devoted to spinal injuries and rehabilitation. But we soon realized that a patient with a spinal injury rarely fights a single battle, that a spinal injury can bring with it challenges of the heart, the brain, the kidney, and other organs. More than anybody else, Major Ahluwalia understood that the body, mind, and spirit must all heal together. That is how the dream of a multi-speciality institution began to find its shape. And so, step by step, we built a team of specialties: orthopedics, neurosciences, cardiac, renal care, and more. And to become a larger hospital, not to become a larger hospital, but to become a complete one. The idea of becoming a multi-speciality hospital has always been part of his vision, and it became a living part of mine. Today, under my watch, that idea is finding its full expression. This transformation is not about numbers or new buildings. It is about balance between technology and tenderness, between precision and compassion, between growth and grace. For me, leadership is not about making announcements. It is about setting direction quietly and walking it steadily. The greatest institutions, I believe, are not built by force of ambition, but by constancy of purpose. ISIC has endured because its purpose has remained pure, to heal with honesty and to serve with humility. I often walk through the campus in the early hours before the day begins. The corridors are still, but they seem to breathe. There's something almost sacred about the silence at that hour. The sense that its place holds thousands of untold stories. I pause sometimes near the trees that Hari had planted. They have grown tall now, sheltering the very people he once dreamed of healing. They remind me that if one nurtures life with care, it returns that care in quiet ways. Integrity has always been ISIC's foundation. It does not live in rules or policies. It lives in our daily choices, in fairness, in empathy, and in discipline to do what is right, even when no one is looking. This is how trust is built, and that is the true capital of this institution. The future will bring change, as it must, but we will meet it with the same steadiness that brought us here. We will continue to expand our expertise, deepen our research, and strengthen our reach, but never at the expense of compassion. I want ISIC to stand for something larger than treatment, to be known as a place where people are treated not just for what they have lost, but for what they can still become. A place that inspires faith in medicine again and faith in humanity again. Our next chapter will build on that conviction through new centers of excellence, through stronger academic and clinical partnerships, and through culture that blends innovation with integrity. If we hold fast on those principles, this institution will continue to shine long after all of us have stepped aside. I have always believed that institutions have a spirit of their own. They breathe through the people who serve in them and endure through the trust of those they serve. Every person here, from the surgeon in the theater to the nurse in the ward, from the therapist in the rehab to the attendant who studies a wheelchair, carries forward that spirit. That is what makes ISIC different. It is not just a hospital. It is a family bound by faith, resilience, and compassion. As we unveil our new identity today, we are not turning a page. We are continuing a story, one written in courage, built on conscience, and guided by care. Let this new chapter remind us that progress has meaning only when it preserves the values that began the journey. May we continue to serve quietly, to lead by example, and to heal with heart, because institutions like people live on through their intent, and when that intent is pure, the promise truly endures. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Your words truly reaffirm the founding mission. Now, as we look to the future, ISIC is continually innovating and enhancing its infrastructure to provide the absolute best in care. Tonight, we're not just changing our external face, we're celebrating exciting enhancements inside the hospital as well. Let's get a sneak peek at the state-of-the-art facilities and patient-centric advancements that are defining this new era. Let's take a look. The moment we've all been waiting for has arrived. This is the culmination of months of vision, strategy, and dedication. A new identity that reflects ISIC's evolution from a specialized center to a complete hub of integrated care and rehabilitation. We're now about to witness the grand reveal of the new logo. I'd now like to invite on stage our esteemed chief guest, Shri Rambir Singh Biduri, as well as Shri Kailash Galot, Mrs. Bholi Aluwalia, and Ms. Sugandh Aluwalia, along with Dr. Ashish Chandra, to please come on stage for the countdown. Okay, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that deserves a bigger round of applause. This is a momentous occasion. Thank you. Thank you very much. I would now request our Honorable Chairperson to please felicitate our Chief Guest, Shri Rambir Singh Biduri, as well as Shri Gilot. I'll now request our chief guest to kindly say a few words. I'm thrilled to welcome you to the official opening of the ISIC Multi-Speciality Hospital Emergency. We're not just inaugurating a department, we are launching a lifeline, a state-of-the-art facility dedicated to providing immediate expert care when it matters the most. This new emergency is equipped with the latest technology and staffed by a dedicated team of specialists, ready 24/7 to serve you. So, let yet another countdown begin. This new logo This new logo represents a future that is bold, inclusive, and deeply committed to patient recovery. And speaking of boldness and recovery, our mission at ISIC is about restoring dignity, mobility, and confidence. We want to celebrate that spirit in a unique way. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been a fantastic audience, and I'm grateful for that. We have now reached the close of our formal program. Thank you all once again for being part of this historic evening. The spirit of Major HPS Ahluwalia lives on, stronger than ever in this new identity. We now invite you all to join us for dinner. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night, and thank you for being a fantastic audience again. Thank you. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, we can do with a big round of applause. That was absolutely brilliant. I've seen many things, but I haven't seen a fashion show with doctors, nurses, and hospital staff. Thank you to all our wonderful participants. Now, let's understand the thought and strategic thinking behind this new visual identity. Guiding this transformation and driving the strategic future of ISIC is a dedicated board member and our Chief Strategy Officer, Ms. Sugandh Ahluwalia. Daughter of Major HPS and Bholi Ahluwalia, Ms. Ahluwalia has been exposed to ISIC since her adolescence and has grown with the hospital through the years. She started her career with ISIC in October 2005 as Manager Hospitality Operations after her graduation in hotel management. She underwent her Masters of Science in Health and Social Care Management from Oxford Brookes University, UK, following which she joined ISIC in October 2008 as Deputy Director of Strategy. Under this role, she introduced and established the Human Resources, Sales and Marketing, and Quality departments. Over the years, she has risen to the post of Chief Strategy Officer and formulates the strategic plans of the hospital in tandem with medical and non-medical needs. She became a board of director in 2021. Ms. Ahluwalia serves as a conduit between the organizational leadership and the board to ensure policies formulated are effectively and efficiently implemented. She also started a corporate social responsibility department in 2024, wherein the hospital conducted preventive and awareness activities for the community, including life-saving skills, fall prevention, and much, much more. She's also played an instrumental role in developing Anantam, an employee mental health wellness initiative for the paramedical staff. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ms. Sugandh Ahluwalia to guide us about this new brand identity.
Thank you, Gul. A very good evening. Namaskar, Rambir Singh Biduri Saab, Kailash Gehlot Saab, and I believe the DCP has also joined Mr. Goyal. Namaskar and welcome. Board members, colleagues, and friends of Indian Spine Injury Centers who have helped shape its journey. You guys do realize how important this evening is for all of us. There are moments that arrive quietly, yet change us forever. This evening is one such moment. I was a little girl when my Saturdays were spent at a patch of land in Vasant Kunj, where my father would come to watch his dream slowly take shape. In those days, this area was more than a cluster of villages, where buffaloes often crossed the traffic signal and the air still smelled of fields. After walking around the site, we would sit together and share omelette parantha rolls, simple meals that tasted of hope and beginnings. Even then, I sensed this was no ordinary space, built not just to treat, but to transform, where broken bodies found strength and wounded spirits discovered purpose. That is how ISIC was born, from empathy and desire to give hope a home. Tonight, as we unveiled a renewed ISIC, I feel both humbled by how far we have come and proud of how true we have remained. When an institution chooses to reimagine itself, it does not change its essence. It reaffirms it. The rebranding is not about colors, logos, or design. It is about expressing who we have always been. ISIC stands at a turning point where our legacy meets our future, where a hospital founded on courage and compassion grows into a multi-speciality institution that still believes healing must touch the mind, body, and the soul alike. The logo we unveiled today carries the same heartbeat that has guided us for nearly 3 decades. A caring hand, a rising figure, and a promise of rebuilding lives. The blue of trust and the green of growth tell a story of resilience and renewal, the visual reflection of our soul. For me, the original logo has been deeply personal. The stylized emblem of a figure in a wheelchair formed by the letters ISIC represented in so many ways my father's reflection of himself and everything that he stood for. For me, he was the tallest man in every room, the one who taught me that courage is not the absence of difficulty, but the grace with which we rise above it. His journey from the icy heights of Everest to the quiet strength of a wheelchair became the essence and the story of ISIC, the story of hope. When the board decided to retain that essence in our new identity, for which we are very thankful, it was more than a design decision. It was an act of remembrance, of keeping his spirit at the heart of who we are going forward. When I think of ISIC, I think of my father, who I lovingly called Hari, not only as a founder, but as a believer. He believed that the human spirit was indestructible, and medicine, guided by compassion, could restore more than health. It could restore faith. That belief became the cornerstone of this very institution. Since 2022, my mother, Mrs. Bholi Aluwalia, who I dare not call Bholi, as chairperson, has carried that belief forward with unwavering grace. She sustained and deepened his vision, nurturing ISIC into a place where clinical excellence and a human kindness coexist. Under her leadership, ISIC has today grown into a full-fledged multi-speciality center of excellence that heals both with science and soul. If my father gave ISIC its purpose, my mother gave it permanence. It is now our shared duty to give it a future. The new ISIC Multi-Speciality Hospital rests on three enduring pillars: legacy, multi-speciality excellence, and outcomes. Our vision is to build on a legacy of compassionate excellence, becoming a global benchmark in multi-speciality care, and lastly, using a combination of scientific innovation, research, and outcomes that define the very foundation of rebuilding the lives of our patients. Today, ISIC is a vibrant ecosystem of healing with centers of excellence spanning through spine, orthopedics, neurosciences, cardiac sciences, renal care, critical care, and gastrosciences. As we grow, we remember that progress without purpose is hollow. Each new service is a commitment not to scale, but to serve. We are not chasing size. No, we are not. We are nurturing significance. For me, the journey has been different. As an able-bodied person, I carry his legacy not through suffering, but through responsibility. The weight of that legacy is immense. But it is also what propels me to ensure that ISIC continues to stand for something larger than medicine, a conscience in service of society. As we grow clinically, I also recognize our responsibility beyond the hospital walls. This conviction gave rise to our CSR vertical. It was created to give back to the community that gives ISIC its purpose. In the past year, we have trained approximately 1,500 people in schools and colleges across Delhi NCR in basic life support and CPR. DCP Saab, I hope aap sun rahe hain, because this next part is very important. We hope to work with the Delhi Traffic Police to train them and the PCR staff in using AEDs, which is a luxury in our third world countries, and raise funds for PCR vans to be equipped with AEDs, because anyone sitting in this room can use an AED. We've also built wheelchair ramps at bus stops in and around Vasant Kunj to improve accessibility and prevent falls. We aim to provide first responder training on safe patient transport after road traffic accidents and falls to prevent further injury. And that's where the police plays a very major role, because they are the first responders. These simple efforts remind us that health is not only about treatment, but about awareness, responsibility, and prevention. As we expand, we must remember that the soul of ISIC lies not in its infrastructure, but in its intent to care. That is the invisible architecture of this institution, something no rebranding can replace. This identity is not a redesign, but a reaffirmation of our compassion and a promise to heal with humanity. The true measure of a hospital is not its size, but the courage and dignity it restores. Tonight, as we unveiled a new ISIC, I thank every member of our board and our extended family for carrying forward my father's dream, his discipline, his ethics, and above all, his humanity. This is not just a renewal of a brand. It is a living promise to his belief that courage and compassion can move mountains, even from a chair with wheels. The truest form of care is not when a patient leaves the hospital healed. It is when they leave believing again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sugandh. That was beautiful, heartfelt, and very insightful. And an explanation of this brand new identity and logo. As we embrace this new identity, the operational roadmap for the future is clear: to expand our reach, enhance our technology, and ultimately help more people reclaim their lives. To articulate this vision and share the exciting plans for the coming years, please welcome the dynamic COO of ISIC Multi-Speciality Hospital, Dr. Ashish Chandra, to speak on the way forward.
Thank you, Gul. Good evening, Shri Rambir Singh Biduri ji, Honorable Member of Parliament, South Delhi Constituency, Shri Kailash Gehlot, Madam Chairperson, Madam Sugandh Ahluwalia, respected board members, distinguished doctors, colleagues, invited dignitaries, members of media and friends of ISIC. It is a privilege and an honor to welcome you all on the launch of our new brand identity. This rebranding represents a renewed sense of purpose and a bold declaration of where we are headed in the future. It signals our transition from a specialized legacy institution into a comprehensive, integrated, multi-speciality health system that delivers continuity of care under one roof. It reflects our readiness to address new burdens of disease and to make advanced care more accessible for the community. From its very inception, ISIC's founding vision was to create a healthcare facility that not only served patients with spinal injuries, but evolved into a comprehensive hospital offering holistic care under one roof. Over the past 3 decades, Indian Spinal Injury Center has grown from a pioneering spinal rehabilitation center into a leading 200-bedded institution of excellence in spine, orthopedics, and neuromusculoskeletal disorders and diseases. As the healthcare landscape in India changes with aging population, lifestyle-related disorders, and an increasing demand for integrated care, it became essential for us to widen our scope. The transition to ISIC Multi-Speciality Hospital allows us to meet the community's broader healthcare needs while retaining our legacy of compassionate world-class spinal and orthopedics care. Our vision for the next 5 years is to position ISIC as the preferred destination for multi-speciality healthcare, delivering compassionate care and achieving exceptional outcomes for every patient. Our top 3 priorities are, first, creating centers of excellence in cardiac, renal, neuro, gastrosciences, and oncosciences. The scaling infrastructure by ramping up patient beds, including critical care beds, and modernizing patient areas for comfort and efficiency. Third, enhancing patient experience through automation, AI-enabled systems, and compassionate personalized care. In phase 1, that is by 26-27, ISIC will add over 100 beds, including critical care beds and developing centers of excellence in renal, neuro, gastro, and cardiac sciences. Some of the key actionables have already been executed, as we have seen in the screen, and few are in process. Over the past 6 months, we have streamlined patient processes by redesigning patient-friendly interactive spaces, including OP registration, IP-OP counseling rooms, discharge service areas, new pharmacy retail outlet, sample collection center, and OPD rooms. In addition, we have constructed 2 more OTs, with total number going to 8, and enhancing the OT complex to 8 rooms basically. New post-operative area is under construction as of now. Additionally, a 12-bedded emergency department is ready for commissioning after it was inaugurated by Honorable MP today. Gastrosciences and renal sciences programs are under upgradation with increase in depth and width of the program by consolidation of the clinical team, infrastructure and technology upgrade, including newly designed 15-bedded dialysis unit, and a complete revamp of the endoscopy workspace. In addition, we have already applied for the renal transplant license, and we are hopeful that we will receive the license very soon. We are already providing almost full spectrum of services in cardiac sciences after the recent addition of cardiothoracic surgery, in addition to cardiology. We will be further strengthening the program by adding electrophysiological studies, and minimally invasive open heart surgery program, along with vascular surgery. We are also expanding our rehabilitation footprint by partnering with like-minded institutions across India to establish satellite clinics. This phase also includes introduction of AI-based automation and education programs such as DNB and FNB in new specialties. In phase 2, we will add over 300 beds and launch a full-fledged oncology center of excellence, including medical, surgical, radiation oncology, and nuclear medicine. Together, these will transform ISIC into a modern, high-capacity, 600-plus multi-speciality hospital for North India. Each center of excellence will integrate advanced diagnostics, research, and rehabilitation, ensuring continuity of care from prevention to recovery. Equally, we remain focused on digital health. The emphasis is on integrating technology with compassionate care, ensuring that every process from diagnosis to recovery is efficient, transparent, and human-centered. Our integrated hospital information system, linked with mobile apps and patient portals, offers seamless access to reports, consultations, and real-time updates. Alongside infrastructure and digital enhancements, we are investing in clinical talent, training, and systems that reinforce our core promise of excellence. Our growth vision for next 3 years is clear and grounded in strong internal performance, modeling, and projections. We are targeting a growth trajectory of more than 20% annual growth, occupancy is above 75%, and EBITDA margins stabilizing around 23%. Growth for ISIC will not mean raising barriers for patients. Instead, growth will strengthen our ability to reinvest in infrastructure, technology, and talent, enabling us to serve more patients in a better manner, faster, and more holistically. Operational excellence continues to be ISIC's backbone. Our Net Promoter Score consistently exceeds 90%, reflecting the trust and satisfaction of those we serve. As we scale, this operation rigor will ensure that growth never compromises patient comfort, transparency, or outcomes. Technology, process, discipline, and compassion will remain equally weighted pillars in our execution architecture. As a part of expanding our geographic footprints, ISIC's regional OPD network, currently operating in Srinagar, Jammu, Jalandhar, Muzaffarnagar, and will be soon expanding into Central India and Madhya Pradesh, especially Nagpur and Gwalior. At the behest of the government of Goa, ISIC was instrumental in establishing a rehabilitation center in Goa with an NGO, Matru Chhaya, and continues to provide training and supervisory support to the staff of that center. Discussions are also underway to establish similar centers in other parts of the country. This rebranding is not the culmination of our journey. It is the beginning of our next ascent. This new ISIC identity carries forward the past with respect, but defines the future with responsibility. To every doctor, nurse, therapist, technician, and caregiver who has built ISIC with dedication, this is your institution. And to every patient who trusted us with their recovery, you are our inspiration and our purpose. Your resilience defines our resolve. Together, we will define the next chapter of ISIC, one that carries forward our founders' legacy, embraces innovation, advances clinical sciences, strengthens access, and continues to stand for courage, compassion, and care. Dear friends, while we come to the end of this evening's proceedings, I would like to take out a moment and propose vote of thanks to all of those who made this possible. I would like to place on record my sincere and profound gratitude to our Honorable Member of Parliament, Shri Rambir Singh Biduri ji, Madam Chairperson, Madam Sugandh Ahluwalia, respected board members, distinguished clinical leaders, doctors, nursing teams, therapists, technical teams, support teams, media colleagues, and every member of the team ISIC who has contributed to this transformative journey and to the success of this event. Your belief and conviction have been the real driving force behind this evolution. This rebranding is not just a symbolic milestone, it is the outcome of many hours of dedication, operational detail, clinical pursuit, planning, discipline, and the collective endurance of our people. A very big round of applause to all of you. Last but not the least, I would like to thank Ms. Gul Panag for choosing to conduct this event for ISIC. A big round of applause to her. I am deeply grateful to the patients and the families who have always placed their trust in ISIC. Your expectations have shaped the way think, build, and improve. As we step into the next chapter together, I am confident that our shared purpose, clinical rigor, execution, excellence, and commitment to excess will continue to drive us to greater heights of impact and leadership. Thank you once again for your presence, your support, and for walking with ISIC today and tomorrow. Thank you.